to him the nose guard.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Huddle podcast. This is episode 10. I'm your host, Cole Bebart.
I'm Irvin Godinez.
And today we kind of just wanted to talk a little bit and reflect a little bit on the last 10 episodes now. Holy crap, dude. We've been at it for a minute.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, when we say the number 10, it feels like we've already done 100. Just because of everything that's been going on behind the scenes. It's our very first time ever doing this stuff. And I thought I had everything figured out, which I think I did.
Yeah.
But the only problem was we were just having a lot of technical difficulties. We would plug in everything, but once we started pressing record, sometimes the audio would cut in and out. So we do want to apologize for that. I don't know if you could probably tell. Right now we have brand new microphones, brand new cords, and it was not cheap, but we got everything down that we need. So hopefully from here on out, all the audio problems will be solved and the quality will be so much better because we're serious about this.
Oh, yeah. And, we want to thank everybody that's kind of stayed tuned up to this point before we even dig into this episode. There's a lot of time and effort and searching for people that goes into this. But it's been pretty easy and graceful because actually we've had people reach out to ask to get on up to this point. And it's been nice. And Irv, if you want to start diving into this thing, let me know.
Yeah, so first I want to thank just everyone that came on. Let's start off with like the first episode of Reflecting with Coach Hodge. Very thankful that he came on and just talked about his story and, how he just hopes to make Riverside better and help all the kids out. I just really enjoyed him being on here, and, I'm glad that you got to meet him too.
Oh, yeah, great guy.
He's always supported everything that I've ever done, man. And like we talked about in here, the very first video on my Irv's Edits page is that basketball video. And, once we started talking about that, after we got done recording and everything, I just kind of sat back, started looking at the memories and seeing how I really got to where I am today. And a lot of it is just a lot of work for Coach Hodge. I think what got me into actually Photoshop and graphic design, it's something that I've always wanted to do, but he gave me that opportunity. He was he came to me, he was like, hey, can you make the football schedule? Just make a cool graphic.
Yeah.
And man, looking back at it, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But now compare that graphic to the things I'm making now, it's embarrassing. So, and thankfully for me, I just had the opportunity that he's been giving me to continue making these graphics to make my work better. I'm just forever thankful for Coach Hodge, and I thank him for coming in and sharing his story with us.
Coach Hodge, dude, wise. He's a very wise and considerate and, caring person. And the fact he gave you that platform, dude, was so impressive. And you think about that, like you said, dude, you grew tremendously from that experience, and you've only gotten better at what you do, and that's huge.
Yeah, thank you, man. Sometimes it's kind of hard to think because, I don't really feel that old. You're 22? I'm 23.
Man. Mm-hmm.
And you graduated from high school 5, 6 years ago now. That's kind of where. And I know it's weird to say because it doesn't even feel like that, but that's kind of where my whole journey started with all this. So Coach Hodge was great, and then the episode after that, Luke Jackson, my guy, man. I absolutely love that dude, and I'm thankful that he came on as well. And I really, really enjoyed his episode. We got a little bit deeper with that, talked about faith and just kind of stories that have happened to us and to the people that we've lost. So talk a little bit about Luke's episode.
So, I was familiar with Luke because, he came up to Heidelberg's football camp and stuff, but I didn't realize that he was such a man of the book, and it was really good to just sit and talk to him about faith, religion, and, what God's done for us. As adults now, I feel like it's so much, it means so much to just trust a higher power, dude, and, to be able to know that God's got you in all seasons of your life, to be able to trust him and say, hey, please, just lead the way for me. And, now that we're adults in the real world, we're working every, 5, 6 days a week. We're doing this podcast and we're trying to spread a positive message. there's a lot of highs and lows, but when you have that faith, you definitely get through tough times. And it's crazy how God works, man. Like crazy. You could be doing great with your faith, your religion, your at home life, work, everything. But God will make sure that He shines light on something you need to work on. And that's huge, and it shows in every day. And I mean, I'm blessed. I'm blessed every single day I live on this green earth, man. And Luke was wonderful. It was wonderful to talk to him because, not just did I learn from him, but I also got to know him a little bit more on a deeper level, and dude, it was nice. And then, I mean, after Luke's episode, obviously, we had my boy Matthew Davenport drive through Davie, and that was a great episode in itself too. Matt's a great guy. He's a man of faith as well, and he's doing great things and trying to give back to the youth in this community. And I feel like anybody that does that, has a little bit of wisdom to them, and not just that, but they're wonderful because they're trying to make this world a better place. You hear him talking here in the episode. He says, "I want my students, I want my athletes, I want them all to be good citizens, good people, good teammates, and I want them to be able to trust me and come back." And I think that that's a huge thing. And what Matt stands for is it's wise, and he's a great individual, great human, and I've definitely been blessed to be able to have him in my life, and I'm definitely blessed to be able to introduce him to you. And what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course, like you said, you kind of talked about it a little bit. It was just him talking about how he just wants to make his athletes and his students just better people outside of the field, outside of the classroom. And I think if you're a great coach, that's the way you got to do things sometimes.
Absolutely.
Just care about them more than just as they are, inside of that classroom and on that field. And one of my favorite things, that was one of my favorite things. And then something else was his saying. Can you remind me of how it went?
Matt used to say this even when we were in college, and he would say it often. And it went by good, better, best, never rest until your good is better and your better is your best. And
yeah, that's awesome.
It is, dude. I have heard that multiple times from him, but then he brought it back up, and I was like, man, you couldn't have said this at a more perfect time.
Yeah, pretty good time.
And and Matt was a great guest, man. He was a great guest, and honestly, a lot of these guests, eventually, I would love to just get them in here, man. The more people we have in here, the better.
Yeah, one that really sticks out to me, I would love to have Zach and Trey back in here, hopefully one day, just to, because have you been keeping up with Trey at all, on his AFL journey right now?
How's that going? So it was AFL, and then I believe there's a different league that he got an offer from, and he took that. Okay. I'm not too sure, but obviously I'll be keeping up on it.
Yeah.
I don't talk to him too often, but I always make sure to check up on my boys. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Trey, so hopefully one day we can just get you back in here, and hopefully you can share your story of how everything's been going. But just kind of moving on, let's talk about Wally, your boy.
So, the Polish Punisher. Wally's helped me through a lot of many different trials and tribulations in my lifetime. After we lost our buddy Kurt, that was a big thing, and we all kind of carried each other through it. And I feel like that taught me that in trialing time at the times that it's important to be there for others, and that's something that I really learned through Wally. Wally's always been a good backbone, good person to have deep conversation with, and in Wally's episode, he kind of brings us through his struggles as a freshman in college, and how it was hard for him to transition from living in Canal Winchester and at home to being in college away from home. And Wally took that and he torched it, dude. He did a great job while he was at Heidelberg, working as an RN and then also playing football at the same time. I don't know a single person that has ever done that.
Right. Yeah. I enjoyed listening to his stories about some of the guys' close games, and especially one that he admitted was just kind of I guess, choked it a little bit towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But obviously, you guys still pulled it off. Is that right?
Yeah. So the thing is like, you don't win them all, but that's the thing, dude. Like, sports in general, not just football, any sport in general will teach you that. Like, you cannot win every battle, and that's the truth. And not just that, but with the sport aspect of things, even in track, like you can't win a track title by yourself. You have to win a team track title together, and it's important to rely on teammates, and even outside of the sport, family, friends, etc. And to be able to trust them and also have them guide you in a way. And I don't know, dude. Like, talking with Wally, that's something that he stands by. Just his friends and family mean so much to him, and he radiates it. And it was a pleasure to have him in there. I mean, and here as well. And we talked about our reflections on these last couple episodes and what it's brought to the table. I know that we talked about the basic foundations of what we appreciated in each episode, but what is something that has like stuck out with you episode to episode, and what has been said that has kind of just transitioned into your life and your thinking and has been stuck in your head a little bit?
I think a little bit of what Luke talked about towards the end there. Just kind of one quote I really liked what he said. You don't go to church clean. He'll accept you dirty. He's gonna go ahead and clean you. So that's really stuck with me. I really appreciated him coming on, just sharing a little bit. Because I kind of put him on the spot right there. I threw a deep story at him, threw him a deep question, and I think he couldn't have responded better. So that's been stuck with me a little bit. And something that's recently stuck with me as well is like the Matt episode, where his saying stuck out to me as well. Just those little and one thing I do want to talk about the sayings, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, his stuck out to me, and then one thing that I unfortunately had to cut out was in Coach Hodge's episode was his quote that he always mentions. I had to cut it out because the audio was just so bad, like going back and forth. Like it just wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
But since we're on the topic now, I'll go ahead and talk about it. His quote is, "It's a great day to have a great day," and what we talked about was after school, right? Like most people, I was a little lost.
Yeah.
Probably those people that weren't going into college.
Absolutely.
And I was a little lost. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and it was just like mentally a tough time in my life where I didn't know what my next step was.
For sure.
And every day I would wake up and I would repeat his quote, "It's a great day to have a great day," and it genuinely helped me out so much. Because he says it so much that sometimes the kids roll their eyes back, and he talked about that in his episode. That he knows it. But like what I would tell those kids, to really take that saying in, because hopefully one day it'll help you the same way it did me. And like we were talking about in his episode was like, I say it all the time. It might be corny a little bit, but at the end of the day, it helped me. So like I'm not worried about what everyone else is thinking, as long as it helped me personally. So I just want to give him a thank you for putting that into my life, because it helped me.
Helps you.
It just helped me a lot, and I don't know if there would have been something else to replace that in the time being. So
actually Davies saying good, better, best, never rest till your good is better and your better's best couldn't have came at like a perfect time, because getting deeper into work and having more on your plate, it gets difficult. But you always know that you can wake up every single day and be better than what you were yesterday. And that's something I took away from that. And then when Luke said he'll accept you dirty, that's huge, dude, because we all fall short sometimes, whether it's to temptation or to being who we need to be. And regardless, God's always there for you to lean on him. And that brings me peace. And it's awesome, because it's awesome to be able to have people that are like-minded into the studio and talk. And like you said, when Coach Hodge said, it's a great day to have a great day. Dude, how lucky are we to live on this green rock, man? Like how lucky are we? Every single day, we can make it better than what it was yesterday. Every single day, we could be the change that somebody needs. Every single day, we can improve, be better, and continue to grow. And we are so, so lucky and blessed to be here, man. And with that being said, I kind of want to dive into our personal goals and our goals for this thing moving forward.
I mean, personally, just try to get as many people as we can in here with a good story, with a positive message. I think so far one of my favorites has been Luke and Coach coming in here and talking to us. I don't know. I mean, just some of the goals is to hopefully the production just gets a lot better with everything that we've bought, and hopefully, we can just kind of grow this thing and get the word out there more.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, I don't know. What about you?
So, I don't know. Me personally, like, it's weird because at work, I have a Post-it note that sits right underneath my desktop. When I have to press the power button, I see it every day. And it kind of just keeps me grounded and on the right track. But on this Post-it note, I have religion, I have financial, I have mental, I have relationship, and I have, home life. And under religion, I've always put down, I want to get closer to the Lord. Under finances, I have put down, I want to buy a house this next year. As far as relationships go, I want to be the person I need to be for the people I need to be it for. Because everybody needs something different.
Yeah.
And I mean, growing up, it's hard to reciprocate what everybody needs. And then 3, I mean, I want to grow in my occupation. I want to be able to take that and grow on it and learn and be a sponge and continue to just head in the right direction. And I feel like even in relationships, dude, like you have to be a sponge and soak it in, listen. And then as far as home life goes, I'm trying to build my relationships with my brothers, my friends, and just kind of be there and be present, because it's important to be present, because you don't want to look back ever and think, wow, I wish I would have been here more this day. They needed me more this day than the other. You just want to be there.
Yeah, man, I think going off of that, just kind of being there, like kind of touched with family a little bit. My little brother, he just started sports, like, I think just last year.
Yeah.
Like, started playing basketball. And we went to every single game that he had last year. And it was incredible to do that for me, just because I remember, like my parents were there for all the home games and stuff.
Yeah.
But they weren't always there for the away games.
Oh, yeah.
And, just because Dad works 2 jobs. I mean, like, again, he's worked 2 jobs forever.
Yeah.
So obviously just couldn't make it to some of the things. And I understood it's just life. But one thing that I wanted to make sure that I did for him was I wanted to be there every single time.
For sure.
And unfortunately, this year, only home games.
Yeah.
And
But
again,
you're still doing it though.
Yeah, but I still want to, like, I know in my heart, and I know in just me that I should be there still more. And I just want to be there, like, as much as I possibly can. And I've learned that through my experiences and just how it made me feel sometimes. But I just being there is a big thing for especially the younger kids. Someone that looks up to you, and you just want to be there for them.
I feel like being present and being there is one of the most important aspects of life. Like, I remember when I would go to my little brother's JV football games, dude. He would come over to the sideline, pop his helmet off, and like stare at us and just smile and goof off because he knew that we were there. But there was a game going on.
Right.
But you just see how it affects other people when you are present and you're there. And it's a big thing. Like, even if it's a small thing, like, small things add up. Small things add up. If you do something nice for somebody every single day, you're not just doing something nice for them, but you're doing something good for yourself. And I get what you mean. Like, it's huge to be present. Huge.
And like I just talked about, was like where I haven't been there for every away game like I was last year. And the big thing was like work, bro. Like you were just listing off some of those goals. And genuinely, I thought you were asking me just about like the podcast, but like stepping away from like the podcast goals, like I haven't really had time
Yeah.
to sit down and kind of like think like, where do I really want to go, bro? Because like, dude, I'm moving every single second of the day.
Yeah.
I wake up at 3 o'clock. I gotta get to work at 5 in the morning, and after the time I get off, bro, I just have to edit, film, and it's just. I don't know, man. I think I gotta sit down and just kind of really think about everything.
down a
But like we were talking about, just being present. Man, it's just like I need that to be a big thing when I'm older as well. To whoever that is for and to, and I'm gonna try to make it a priority as much as I can.
So I'm gonna tell you, I talked about and with Matt a little bit that I've been reading these books.
Yeah.
I read a book shortly after I graduated college, and it was called Let Go and Let God. And in this book, it talks about, the foundations of living through the Lord and the foundations of living a peaceful life. And if I could make a poster, just like a giant poster that had forgiveness written on it, I would, because, you don't want to live a life where you're weighed down because you haven't forgive somebody, or you don't want to live a life where you're just looking backwards, dude. Like, break the rear view mirror and continue to move. And I feel like forgiveness is huge, dude. And in this book, it just talks about forgiveness and moving and how it's going to make you more at peace with yourself, more at peace with the Lord. And, forgiveness is a huge thing in all aspects of life, friendships, relationships, family. It doesn't matter. Forgiveness is huge. And that book taught me a crap ton.
Yeah, bro, you might have to share that over here because I think that's there's just a lot of people in my life I have not forgiven yet.
Yeah.
And and I agreed, it's something that you definitely don't want to look back on. I moved on and stuff, but like when you say forgive, sometimes it's just kind of hard to, people suck sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I look at life like a football game. I look at my occupation like a football game. Like I'm playing in the Super Bowl when I'm at work every single day. I'm going to win that. I'm going to win it every single day. And I look back on my time as an athlete, and I think about how losing made me feel.
Yeah.
And you only have so many games before you're done.
Yeah.
Just like we have so many days until we're done. And you just learn to appreciate and try to be your best. And football really kept me grounded, man. Like, it kept me grounded, and once I started this phase of life, I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. Like, I haven't been here before. Who are you?
Yeah.
And that's been one of the most difficult transitions, and I'm still trying to learn it. There's days where I'm just like, I'm low. There's days where I'm low. I mean, at 3 o'clock every day, I'm sitting there like, shouldn't I be like suiting up at practice right now, strapping up my helmet and choosing vengeance and anger and hitting people? And it's crazy though, because it's just nuts. And that's something that we really talk about in this podcast is, sport, what it's done for us and how it correlates to our life. And it's huge for me. Like, sports are huge for me, and football is huge for me. And it's taught me many different things and many different fundamentals and many important aspects of life. And moving forward, dude, like, I'm just excited to see who we bring in, to see where we go from here, and to continue to grow. I mean, that's all we do in this life is grow and give and learn. And
I mean, we've already had to deal with some unfortunate stuff while we've gotten back together.
Yeah, bro.
It's just been a lot, man. The editing's a lot. The uploading, even after the video is done, is a lot. We're just kind of got each other's back through this. A lot of people don't see the running around we have to do before each episode and the messages, back and forth to try to get people on here and stuff like that. So, man, I'm very happy where this thing is going, and I'm just happy that how serious we're taking this. going out and about to some of these basketball games with my little brother or some of these Indian Lake games. I've had a few people come up to me and talk to me about how they've seen it, how they think it's cool, and just to keep pushing. I mean, that's the coolest thing, bro. Like when you got someone like you start something new, it's scary. Someone approves of it. It's just a lot. And especially when we're putting in as much work as we are to it. It's just grateful, man.
I think that the fact that we have, this facility, like this location, and the ability to come in here and bring guests in, and like I have boys that are trying to drive down here to just get in the studio. That's huge. And I mean, it obviously goes to show that what we're doing here is huge. And I mean, the sky's the limit, man. And every single day, I just hope that we continue to grab and learn and spread and continue to grow this thing. And I mean, we have a lot of special people coming on here soon, and a lot of great stories to be heard.
Well, so I wanted to talk to you this off camera, but maybe it might be a cool little subject to see what the people think.
Yeah.
So I think kind of touring some of these schools or high schools, colleges, to get to sit down with coaches and players, I think would be a really cool thing to do. Like maybe you take me to Ben Logan, I take you to Riverside. We get to film a little bit of how maybe the camps are going or practices are going. Maybe sit down with the coaches and players afterwards, and just kind of pick their brains a little bit. And I think it'd be cool to even you to take me to Heidelberg and see what we can.
I can make that happen.
Yeah. So I think we'll talk more, touch base on that afterwards. But just let us know what you guys think. If you guys any college athletes, any high school athletes that would want us to come interview you guys during the springtime.
For sure. I think that's actually an amazing idea. So I'm glad that you brought it up on camera, because brings perspective. You know, I talk about Heidelberg and Tiffin, Ohio all the time, dude, but you wouldn't understand unless you were there.
Right.
And I talk about my journey through being a high school athlete a lot, and I mean, obviously we don't know unless we're there. I mean, Coach Hodge even kind of was insightful for me, and his coaching ethics and his morale, and I would definitely not be opposed to that. I definitely want to engage our audience a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would love to hear from all of you, people that we should try to get in the studio. If you're interested and you have a wonderful story, talk to us. We're never one to shy away from a good story that'll make us better people or to spread a positive message. So please, it's more than welcome. You know what I mean?
And we mentioned how we're gonna have a guest of the year, right? We're gonna get him a jersey that we got made, a shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do even one for like fan supporter of the year too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Just to kind of engage everybody and just want to be a part of this thing,
And as I always say, there is so much that goes into this. But the biggest thing is we're making an impact. And I mean, the sky's the limit and the road's paved. We just got to take the road. And I'm excited, dude. We're going to definitely be expanding this thing. We're definitely going to be growing this thing. And I'm so excited to see where this goes and a lot of the stories that we're going to learn on the way, man. And I mean, if you haven't yet, what are you doing? Come watch.
I do want to switch it up a little bit. I just want you to talk just stories, Just tell me, let's get off the podcast a little bit. Let's just kind of talk.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Well, tell me a little bit about, Heidelberg and maybe just some, like, Wally was talking about some of his favorite games and stuff like that. What is maybe a memory you remember? Maybe made a great play, maybe messed up completely.
So, one of the biggest memories that sticks out with me, it's actually, I mean, it's crazy. Holy crap! I don't mean to get choked up if I do something.
Yeah.
Freshman year, after my buddy Nick passed away, and honestly, if this gets on here, I don't care. But freshman year after my buddy passed away, I had to go to his funeral, and I played in a ball game that same day.
Wow. Okay.
And obviously, like that kid was a big factor in my life growing up. And that same night, I sacked a kid.
Yeah.
At Ohio Wesleyan, and I sacked him on the 28-yard line.
Okay.
And that was what number Nick wore when he was in high school. And it kind of gives me chills to this day, but like, you don't realize people are with you.
Yeah.
Dead, alive, they're always going to be there. And yeah, dude, that's crazy that you actually asked that. But other than like that, on a not serious note,
Yeah.
a lot of the snowy practices.
What a switch up.
So, you know, in the November, December time frame, end of whatever, near the end of football season, the weather always switched up, and my buddy Tyler, he was always down for a snowball fight, right?
Is that the guy that you were talking about in the first episode?
Yeah. So my buddy Tyler was always down for a snowball fight, and he'd always tackle me into snow drifts that were super icy, and I would get so upset about it. Well, we were having a snowball fight, and I forget what player on the team had a snowball. You're never gonna believe this, but we were about to get into stretch lines, and this player throws this snowball at Tyler, one of the other guys on the team, and they duck. And sure enough, it was on the back side of it, bro. Yeah. It was my head coach. My head coach got smacked, dude. And for the first 20 minutes of practice, we were just running gassers.
Nah, dog.
But no, dude, there's a lot of memories at Heidelberg University. Good, bad, ugly. And I'm appreciative of every single second I've gotten there. It was, I mean, I'll tell you something, like whenever I was having a rough mental day and I had a lot going on, I would just step outside and I'd sit. There was a brick setting that sat above our football field, and I would just sit there and reflect. I'd sit there, reflect, and reminisce. And on the warm summer days or the warm fall days, I would go down and I would exercise on the football field and flip tires and just work on my craft. And, that's something I'm very appreciative for. That, my roommates, always being crazy. They always had something. They were always up to something. I mean, my buddy Rayback always listening to some EDM, like club music, like raving around the house. My buddy Wally, game days were serious, man. Like I'm sure I probably woke up at some point. He already had eye black on at like 9 a.m.
Wally did?
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me. Wally was a maniac during like game days. And then, my buddy Ben, we played the same position, and on days that we were struggling, we'd be there for one another. And a lot of appreciative memories in the sport, out of the sport, after dark, before dark, any of it, dude. Heidelberg was awesome. But what stories you got from me?
I think like the first one that comes to mind is we were at home. We were playing Lima Perry, and running back had the ball, Luke Roby. I was blocking for him. The play's over. He gets tackled, right? Somehow, or maybe they have trouble bringing him down, right? So now there's this big pile created, right? Yeah. I'm like in the middle of the pile trying to, gain some yards, keep it pushing. Well, all I see is the other team kicking him. They're kicking him. Immediately, anger comes out of me. I scream, "Hey!" And I just start shoving everybody out of the way, bro. I was flag everywhere, bro. And it was just like one of those memories I will never forget, bro. Like they were just straight kicking him on the ground. I was like, what is, like the pile was so big, no one even saw it until I started, getting everybody out of the way. And that's something I'll definitely never forget. Just instincts kick in, bro. You know what I'm saying? Instincts came in.
Is that high school?
Yeah.
So I got a memory I have to share. Hunter Logsdon, he's been a really big supporter throughout this.
I've seen. Yeah.
We actually gave him a hoodie or a sweatshirt or a shirt during the giveaway. Hunter was our center in high school.
Was he really?
And We were down like 20 against Graham, like my senior year or something.
Oh.
Hunter was playing center. He was super frustrated. And the center jumped off sides, right? And it hit Hunter in the head. Hunter picked up the ball. He picked the ball up off the ground and slammed it on the center's head and was just like, what? and immediately flags thrown.
Yeah.
Hunter just immediately walks to the locker room in frustration. And I was like, did that just happen?
That's funny.
And then another good memory of mine, it wasn't even while I was playing. I went back to watch Ben Logan my freshman year of college.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were playing North Union. And there's a player on North Union that went to block a field goal or something, and the kicker ended up kicking him. And it started a massive fight.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where like people were leaving the stands to go out there. And my good friend Joel, after the game, he comes up to me. He goes, "Did you see me get him in a chokehold?"
No, dude.
I was like,
That's
"No
crazy.
way, no way." That's what you're gonna say right now after you just lost by like 48, bro. Come on. And I mean, that's the art of it, dude.
Yeah.
Football is beautiful. It's like serotonin.
It just brings a lot out of you that maybe wouldn't happen off the field. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just like you just black out. Stuff happens, you know.
Yeah, dude. But the journey through sport builds your character. So much character, like, and it humbles you. And
oh man, I mean, everyone's got a clip out there of them just getting tossed. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. Someone's got that video somewhere.
So, my dude, this is like 8th grade. We were playing Graham.
Yeah.
And this kid got like a bubble screen, and I was playing nose guard, and I went and sprinted out to hit the kid, right? And I missed the kid, but some kid came in and blindsided me. Well, I got up seeing stars, and I went over to the sideline. I was like, "Did I get him, coach? Did I get him?" And no, I didn't get him. I didn't get him.
That's crazy.
No, dude. Very appreciative of all my memories in football, sports, and
you got a game. You got a game that you guys probably should have won that haunts you till this day.
Baldwin Wallace, my senior year.
Where college?
Yeah. If we would have beat them, we would have had a shot at the OAC title that year.
Was it close?
We were up 21 going into halftime.
You were up 21 points?
Yeah, and the quarterback there at the time, he was a transfer from Akron, played on Akron's football team during the COVID season, and he was a pretty good baller. And brought them back, and I was in. It was 3rd down and like 8. They were like on the 15-yard line and corner fade or something like that. I don't remember how exactly it happened, but dude, it tore me up, man. Yeah. And I always if there was a game that I was always more excited for, amped up for, like the adrenaline was at top notch.
Yeah.
It was Mount Union always, because you always see them succeed. So you're like, dude, I would do anything to just take off the top dog's head.
Yeah.
And we were actually walking through the end game of the line on the 50-yard line and shaking hands, and Wally was shaking hands with their offensive lineman, and they said, "Who's number 11?" Which was me at the time. Yeah. And Wally was like, "Cole Bebar, why?" And they're like, "He's a."
No.
He's like he tore me up all game. Like,
that's funny.
We don't like him, and yeah, it was. I mean, I was never one to talk trash, but if I was ever talking trash, it was typically Mount Union. Just because I was like, I'm gonna try to get in their heads, because if I get in their heads, then maybe we got a shot if we get in their heads a little bit.
That's
play
funny.
Some mind games.
Yeah.
But no, dude, I a lot of good memories in sport, out of sport, and at Heidelberg and through college, and a lot of things that touch me to this day, man. I mean, before every game, I know that Wally mentioned it. We had a buddy that passed away on our football team. Before every game, I either prayed on the 28 or 49-yard line. It kind of fluctuated. Mm-hmm. And 28's Nick's number, 49 was Kurt's number. And it's weird because whenever I was on that field, I always felt like I had a presence with me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you would have told me I would have made it 4 years at a university and played 3 out of 4 of them,
That's dope.
I probably would have been like,
Right.
where? You know?
Yeah.
Like when? But very appreciative, man. And sports are amazing for that reason, you know? A lot of lifelong memories, a lot of serotonin, nostalgia, all of it, dude. And very appreciative of this podcast, very appreciative of where it's going. Is there anything else you'd like to say or cover on this reflection episode?
Thank you to everyone who's been watching, and just keep adding those numbers. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And let's keep pushing.
Very thankful for this thing. Brings a lot of peace, wisdom, and I learn a lot through it. And I'm sure and I hope that you take something away from each and every episode. I hope that this brings you some laughter, some knowledge throughout your day, man. And I just hope that if you haven't yet, I hope you stay tuned for what we got brewing up here at the Huddle.